Hi, hello. Sorry, yellow, hello. Would you like my yellow? Oh, yes. Don't sing the song. Yellow bird up high in banana tree. There's no banana trees around. But it's good to be here. How's December going? Has it been treating you? And I hope how have it been treating you? I trust that the last session was helpful for you to begin to stabilize and for you to really have a better December and end of year. I want to talk a little bit about competition a little bit today. And I want to look at the social disparities that we are faced with from time to time. Because the thing about it, we are bracketed as a people. You belong to this, you're this area, and whether it's by ethnicity, whether it's by social standing, whether it's by employment, whether it's by status, community status also, we are branded in some kind of, with the stigma of exclusivity or inclusivity, whether you're included or excluded. But there's that kind of construct that binds us into how we think and how we behave. So when we look at our December and we see the way forward, and we know that we are saying, okay, as I said in the last podcast, I hear the children asking for X, they want Y, we need to do this, and then we start looking at the house. We want to buy certain kinds of furniture or curtains. We want to make sure that the aesthetics fit. But most times we are pushed or pressed into this kind of mindset because of those social inequalities, or those social presses, or those social constructs that we find ourselves in, that we feel that we have to compete with. So I'm competing with what proverbially is called the Joneses. I'm trying to make sure I'm also a Jones. I'm also in the same bracket. So we are pushing ourselves into a place not just to acquire the commodities or the assets, but also to realize that we're pushing our very psyche into another domain. This is not who I am, but that's how I want to be. So it comes now not just being like the Joneses, it's about I want to be like. So I want to be like the neighbors, I want to be like the friends, I want to identify what's happening here. We don't realize how we can pressure people into some social activities that really minimizes our own efforts and our own capabilities. That when we have to function, we just like a fish out of water. So we need to come to terms with the fact that yes, I am who I am. Remember I ended last session talking about content. I need to be content with who I am, because I have to realize that my desiring of change, or to compete, or to have what my neighbor has, or to fit in to the society, the frame, is minimizing my potential and who I am, and actually telling people that I am not real about me. I want to be real about me. I want to be able to say, this is what we represent. I am not going to be wondering where I'm going to get a tree from. I have to get a tree. I have to get the outside painted. No. Going back to the last broadcast, you have a lot of talent within your home. It's called family. Each person has some creative vein in them. You have a lot of aesthetics. There's a lot of things around the house that you can use, you can refurbish, you can rebuild, you can redesign. But it's going to be authentically you. But alas, no, the Joneses. We go out to the store, we go to the village shop, we go to the park, and we hear the conversations. Girl, what are you doing? You buy that yet? You haven't buy that yet? You buy it? You buy? Oh gosh, I see some curtains. I saw this. Are you listening? True. So, let me go and shop together. Together? How am I doing this together when I don't have the means for it together? So what do I do then? I try to cop out, but yet, how am I going to look? So I try to find the means for it together. I try to develop some kind of ways. Maybe it's called the box. Maybe it's alone, just to facilitate the gossip and the identity with the other people on the bench in that park that tells me I must have this particular kind of experience. When I go to work, I hear the same thing. And I'm looking for that, what do you call it? What you get at the end of the year, or for Christmas, a bonus. You want a bonus? Because it's the bonus. I waited to get the bonus to facilitate these needs. Hey, we are, to get back to that C word, content. We are to experience our year end with ourselves, for ourselves, to establish ourselves. So what I hear on the village park, or what I hear in the office, or what I hear in the bus, or what I see on the television glaringly coming at me, sales, buy, low prices, sales. I must not be committed to find myself facilitating these issues. Because I want to remind you, it's not about the commodities. It's not about the things. It's about your social life. It's about your own mental capacity, how you think about yourself. What I have found in past dealing with some people with this kind of issue is that there is this feeling of rejection. Because when I can't get up with the Joneses, it means that I am inferior to them. So I'm a bit ashamed of doing or being or even being seen. So I decide to keep to myself. I decide to work by myself. I decide to, whatever we have, we will make do. But you see, that has an unnecessary tone that creates an unnecessary and impractical and a dangerous negative emotion. Because when you say we will see wherever we have, no, you are actually not agreeing that what you have you can use. You are agreeing that you are willing to starve yourself for what you think you should have, and then you go into that frame of woulda, shoulda, coulda. And there's a lot of negative emotion. There's anger, there's betrayal, there's a feeling of insecurities because you can't, and then you start throwing words across the room to the person who you think should be able to finance and to help you and to see the better, and we're not doing any better, and all of a sudden you go down a road backwards. If you had taken the job, if we had done this, because you still want to be like the Joneses. So it's not about you saying whatever, no. It's about you learning again to realize that you are pushed or being pushed into a particular social fabric or social, let me use the word construct, that is killing you from within. How do we nurture? How do we nurture? I say, how do we nurture goodwill within us? How do we define the reality of what is demanded for us and from us as humans? I have been established as a parent in a home, that means their children. We have facilities called a house and amenities, which starts off in different rooms. For one area, the living room, there are chairs. Dining room is a table with chairs to sit on, and that is for mealtime. The kitchen has amenities for cooking and preserving. By the way, we have family. Things are happening. Am I not able to facilitate the dynamics of family connectivity here? We can sit in the living room, we can sit and eat at the table, we can cook and preserve things and make sure that we have for tomorrow. Are you hearing me? It's important for us to rediscover ourselves as an entity, as a unit, without trying to compete. Because once we start to compete, we want to go beyond ourselves and try to find the dynamics somewhere else that makes us better than. We are not doing the better than thing. No. The better than thing creates conflict. Because we do not identify the limits that are necessary for the whole. What is going to be the best for you when you are driven by so many other people's identities and other people's expectations? Because so therefore at the end of the day you are going to be either minus or plus, and if it's a plus, maybe you will end up with more than, and then you do not know what to do, and then you are overspent. As against if you below, you're still struggling to define. But there's, at that level of contentment, you are able to supply all that is necessary for you to be human within your home, within your family construct, establishing that goodwill dynamic. How are we going so far? Yes. It's important for us to eradicate that word competition. I know it's not a word you would have used. It's my word. But I want you to stop trying to be like the Joneses. Trying to be like somebody else. Identifying that what you have is what you need. It's important for you to really accept all that is necessary within your grasp. We extend ourselves to try to find cash, when cash is not what we need, you know. All we need is to start off saying, hey, how can I use this differently? How will this make the family much more resilient, happy, content, friendlier? How could I even be a testimony to my neighbors when they could see that there's such a goodwill heart here without the frustration of facing that negativity of lack or discontent or greed? And that's another word that I think is important. We become greedy, looking to find the much more than, and I did say better than just now, but it's also more than. We need to come into that place where we can overcome the more than. We can define that this more than is not necessary, because we have what it takes to make us what we are as we are. Oh, did I say as we are? Let me pause here for a while. Oh, let me just attend to this as we are. Because that's where the competition is. Do I want to be as we are? No. You forget Betty next door says, if we get a particular furniture or a particular appliance, we will be more than we are. More recognized. When? How? Who defines the criteria? And who assesses the criteria? Oh, the friends. And by the way, you're having friends? Friends coming? Friends, let me say it in Poland, friends does come. We may invite them. Even family members might not turn up. So there you are, planning to impress, planning to recreate a dynamic of better than, planning to show that I have more than, planning to show that I have a new established identity, and nobody's coming to assess this. A few people maybe. And how would you therefore know that all that you have planned with and for has really come to the mark that makes you what you think you should be? Again, we have to reassess where we are going, how we are doing this. it's important for you to note that all that we have need of is established basically in our hands. Yes, and I want to maybe look at another word in terms of the good competition. A boastful time. See, you want to boast now. Compete. You want to be better than, more than, so that you can boast at the end of the day. But of what are you boasting? Let me remind you, I am not sharing this for you to only look at the things, the commodities, the aesthetics. No, I am here to help you protect your social identity. That you want to run loose. You want to just go astray because you are trying to find dynamics that seems to be a criteria of making you a better than. No. You are not going to be a better than. Take it from me. You are stretching yourself beyond the capacity of your creativity. If you stay in that capacity and that place of creativity, you are able to sustain yourself and to work it for the better good. It's important for us to identify this. You know, I remember the first 1 year in my marriage, I got this fish, this big fish, and I baked it. It was Christmas. And my friends came home and says, "Where is turkey?" And I says, "Fish." I was like, "What?" I had to remind them that that fish is in the category of food. Do you want to eat? If you don't want fish, go next door, go down the road. But I am not looking at myself abased because it's fish. When they asked for something else, there was none, because we were contented with what we had. And there was no need to reassess our not having to make us feel that we were less than. We were impoverished, or we can't keep up, or we could ask. No. What we didn't have, we didn't use. You like that? What we didn't have, we didn't use, therefore we didn't need. What we had with contentment was able to satisfy us and to bring ourselves into that place of real goodwill. We had to help the friends realize, hey, we eat at this table. You want to join us? Join. You're not just joining us to eat. You're joining us in our concepts, in our construct, in our identity. You are identifying with who we are as we lay ourselves on this table before you. Oh, that was deep. That's not deep. That is real. You have to remember, we do not want to lose our social identities. Because when we do that, when we have that word, discontent, when we have the word competition, when we have the word boast, we are looking to see how best we can find it somewhere else. And we are going to get into another area that I want to bring out in the next session, the next broadcast, we are going to talk about. That is imperative, that you do not go down that road. So it protects the mind. It protects the self. It gives you this self-assurance that you are who you are. And you like who you are. You like what you have. And remember, you have creative genes to make whatever little you have. If you were to use that word, a word I don't usually use, whatever you have, it becomes more than within that environment, not outside the fence, not down the road. We are not going to celebrate it for the village. We are not competing with anything down there. We are saying it is enough for this household, and we are able to live joyously. Let me tell you something. Watch commercialization. Yes, I mentioned before, media, television, advertisements. Right. But don't let that sway you. Don't let that prejudice you. Don't let that put you into any bias bracket. You are not carrying any label on your forehead saying lack of, don't have. You are establishing who you are with a very friendly face, looking outward, showing and showcasing the value of your family, welcoming the fact that you do have a social identity. We are able to integrate with people from where we're at, not from where they're at. And we are able to define ourselves broadly for a tomorrow. I trust you're hearing Dr. Nance today. I trust you're understanding that it is important during this year end that we really could bear with ourselves and work within ourselves to have a good new year. You know, when people come to tell me Happy New Year, I'm not too sure how to respond because I do not know what is being transferred from the old to the new. I don't even know if they know what new is. Because we are so trapped sometimes in old, trying to survive old traditions and old cultures and making sure that it has meaning, not realizing that we are missing out in reculturizing ourselves and reaffirming ourselves with new objectives, with new plans, because we have creative genes. Let me leave you with this. Please create. Please be content. Please do not compromise. Don't have competition. Don't try to deframe or defraud yourself with another person's identity. No. You're being made in the image and likeness of God. Look out for that. Ask, how can I make this real? How can I make this alive? Right here, December 2023. Grace comes from God that gives strength. And you are able to cry out and say, hey, I want to make sure that my purpose is revealed in January, February, March 2024. So I have to have a mindset to go forward deliberately, having goodwill and joy, peace to all men. Dr. Naya is saying thank you for hearing, listening to me. And I say adieu. See you next broadcast.